Hey everybody, it's Mike here. Sorry I've been away for a bit, preparing for my own wedding, so it's great to be back. And first we're going to start with a video on the newest Diablo patch for the Season 1. Okay, so I'm not going to go extreme detail. I'm just going to go over the different classes, what are the best classes to use, and which class got hit the worst. So I'm really sad to say, as a dedicated sorcerer player, that the sorcerers have actually experienced nerf again, and we were already not doing so great. But right now, Sworks are, and kind of same thing as a Necromancer. But I would say Sworks have it even worse. We're just squishy, man. We just get one hit everywhere, and even I don't think I'm going to be playing a Sorc Drink Season 1. It's just what's the point of getting one hit every time, right? But one thing, the good silver lining on this is that I know the developers at Blizzard have they're aware of this and they're planning on addressing this. So expect some changes in the near future. But that being said, I know he said this, the Necromancers are a bit squishy. They're still one of the, I would say, the mid-range type of class because of their Born Spear build. That's still a great, viable build to use. And, even I plan on making a Necro soon. Maybe not just for the Season 1 because there's some other classes that are really shining right now if you want to do the big damage. Yeah, but when it comes down to it, the Druid and the Rogue are the winners this season. They have the most minimal nerfs. You have Rogue has one of the best builds in the game with the Twisted Blades, and that's actually what I plan on using going into Season 1. And I've already started my character and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I can already tell the immense damage difference, and even their survivability as rogues are just way better than the sorcerers, so it's a great breath of fresh air instead of getting one hit by everything. Yeah, if you want to play something meta right now, just pick either the rogue or the druid, because currently those are the way to go. I know there's only 2 of the 5 classes, but even with some of your other classes, like the necro, you can still do well with. With the barb, you still have the whirlwind build, which is actually the easiest build to play in this game. So if you're a casual player and you're looking for the most easiest build, or you can just pretty much button mash whirlwind and take out all the mobs, then I'd say go with the whirlwind barb. They're still very viable and they're really good at pushing nightmare dungeons. Maybe not as good as maybe a rogue or a druid, but still very great nonetheless. Back to the barb again, they've actually nerfed the Hammer of the Ancients build. I know there was kind of a glitch where you do tons of damage, so if you're still using the Hammer of Ancients build on a barb, or if you plan on using in Season 1, just keep in mind that's got nerfed big time. I would say it's more of a fix of a glitch than a nerf for the barb's Hammer of the Ancients build. And in Season 1, you're going to find yourself collecting these things called Malignant Hearts, which kind of act as aspects. This is basically stuff that enhances your gear. They're not permanent, mind you, so you have to keep that in mind. So you just socket them into your armor, and there's different new ways to build your character depending on which class you are. Now I'm just going to do a quick overview on what Malignant Hearts are and the different types. So these basically function the same way as gems. Although gems have not been really popular because they haven't been as effective, Malignant Hearts are a whole different story. So in Season 1, items have a chance of coming with these infested sockets. These can seat the Malignant Hearts just like gems would, except they're color coded and only a specific category of hearts can be socketed. So for example, you got the Vicious, so that's orange. Those are catered toward like more offensive play styles. You got Brutal, so those are blue, and these are catered towards more defensive play styles. Devious, so that's like the pink one. This gives the player an additional like a utility. And then there's Wrathful, the black one. These offer unique bonuses and can socket into any of the 3 types of these Malignant Heart sockets. So all 32 hearts fit in one of the 4 categories, and some of these are unique to certain classes. In terms of farming Malignant Hearts, you can actually find them in the Malignant Tunnels. Like this area is specifically designed for farming these type of hearts. And in these tunnels, they spawn malignant outgrowths, which are color coded to give the player kind of an idea of what heart they'll drop. And even better, if you're playing and you don't get the type of heart you want, you can always salvage the hearts that you don't want for Malignant Ichor, which gives players some options to craft new ones, or you can even enhance your existing ones at Corman's Wagon. Now it's important to know that each class has a heart of each type, vicious, brutal, devious, wrathful, that is entirely exclusive to that class. And when paired with hearts, they're usable by every class. There's a potential for very strong builds. And I'll also leave notes in the description of this video, and it'll kind of outline what the different Malignant Hearts do. There's different types of Malignant Hearts. There's like wrathful, devious, brutal, and vicious. Wrathful, in my opinion, well, that's the better way to go. For example, the Barbarian's Wrathful Malignant Heart, incoming damage has a 5 to 15% chance of being ignored and instead healing you for 17 to 68 hit points. So little stuff like that really can make your character overpowered, and there's just going to be a lot of fun to farm over Season 1. And for Druids, their Wrathful Heart enhancement is whenever they're hit with like a stun, freeze, or knockdown effect, there's a 40 to 60% chance to automatically activate Grizzly Rage for 3 seconds. And you got the wrathful version of the Sorcerer's Malignant Heart. So this one makes it so core skills launch a projectile that consume all of your mana, and this is for every 45 to 35 extra mana consumed, you launch an additional projectile, and the damage increased by 3 to 5%. Nothing crazy, like the other wrathful hearts seem a lot more powerful than a sorcerer. Like for example, you'll just throw an extra projectile depending on what mana you have left over. Alright, then let's look at the Necromancer wrathful ability. So this makes it so each minion drains 1 to 2 essence per second, but deals 50 to 75% increased damage. With no minions, this bonus applies to the player, or you, and drains 5 essence per second. And then you got the Rogue's Malignant Heart, which actually gives you a 5 to 15% chance to apply all Bument effects at 40 to 50% of its normal potency. So you're going to be doing huge damage with these upgrades. So if I'm going to create a list from best to worst, which classes are best for Season 1, I'm going to definitely say Rogue is number 1. Definitely great for endgame with that Twisted Blades build. They just tear apart mobs. I'm having a lot of fun with it. The Druids are very strong. They got that Tornado build, the Tornado Druid. So this is definitely an effective build for pushing those nightmare dungeons. You're going to have a lot of fun with that. And as a middle range class, I'm going to definitely say the Barb, because the Barb has really good survivability still. I'd say probably one of the best in the game. Just that, especially that Whirlwind build, right? If you're looking for that casual gameplay, the Whirlwind build is just a lot of fun, and I plan on making a Barb shortly as well. And then you got the Necromancer in 4th place, and not saying the Necromancer is technically bad. They still deal quite a bit of damage, and you know, they can still take on many of the big bosses and produce those nightmare pushes. The only real problem is, like I mentioned, the Necromancer has that survivability issue, and they share that kind of with the Sorc. Now, the Sorcerer is definitely your last choice, and I would not recommend a Sorcerer in Season 1. They're just way too weak right now. They just get one hit, and I even saw a post or something where someone offered one of the Blizzard developers $1 million to do Tier 70 Nightmare Dungeon. And it just goes to show like how underpowered sorcerers are right now. But I have a lot of faith in Blizzard. I believe they're going to fix the sorcerer, because the sorcerer in this state is really just not fair. And for our sorcerer lovers out there like myself, we just got to hang tight and just try out different classes for now. Now my final thoughts on this update and where Diablo 4 is going. Okay, so first off, the grind aside, that's one thing I don't think is going to change. The grind in this game is just brutal. I'm finding it's just taking way too long to level. But that's just, I guess that's the nature of the game, and I don't think that's changing. However, the one thing that does need a change is this imbalance of the classes right now. Right now, everybody and their best friend is picking a rogue because of how underpowered certain classes are. People aren't even trying to pick sorcerers right now. There's almost no point. You're just going to get one hit, and it really sucks, because I'm all about balance and having all the characters be fair, but it's not even close to that. I would say, you know, from when you compare the Druid and the Rogue right now to the other classes, they're just kind of on their own little tier. So I just like that being fixed, and I'd like not to feel so underpowered as a sorcerer. But those are just my final thoughts. I hope you found this video useful, and if you do, please check out my channel and consider subscribing for more. And other than that, you have yourself a great day, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.